Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Marilyn Shannon, and this is the Breaking Free Show. And I hope you're all doing well and welcoming in the spring. Today is going to be like a celebration for us, and I'm just excited to be here and just kind of chill out with you today. No agenda. We're just going to sit back, kick back, and chat about whatever we want. So just remember that you are always welcome to call in, enter our chat, and just, kind of just let's just talk. Sometimes it's just good just to do that and listen to each other. How are you doing, Amnon? Amnon is our producer, so
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
Happy Passover.
And happy Passover to
Happy
you.
belated Easter to
Happy
everybody
Easter to
that's
everybody.
out there.
And it's interesting that it all came on the same kind of
Yeah.
time.
Well,
That was fun. Everybody's wishing everybody something good, I hope.
uh,
That's how it
they
felt.
should.
That's how it felt. It was
Yeah.
like it was good. So we have a chat. You can come in there, you can ask questions, comment, whatever you want. You can call us at 919-518-9773 if you want to call into the studio. And you can also come in on Skype voice, not a picture, but voice. And that is at computers. That's plural. Then the number 2K voice whenever you like. And so it's spring, and we're just going to chill. I have some things I want to talk about and some points to make and things that I've been thinking about going through, comments I want to share. But you might have those too. And if you do, this is the place to bring them. No judgment, just a free zone to talk about whatever you want. And I welcome that opportunity to kind of get close to you and have you get close to me and just be people. I think that's an important thing to do. So, anything going on before we get on with some of my points? Anything going on with anything technology wise?
Nothing that I can think of right off
Really?
the top
I
of
do
my
have a
head.
question for you, and you
Yeah.
may have an answer for this and you may not. So, my husband is just a regular old person who has not wanted to be on Facebook at all, but he does now. And he put his name, he put his email, he did all that stuff. They will not accept him, and we can't figure out why. And there's no place to go to get help. You can write it in a forum. I tweeted it. I went into the back end of my account and asked for help, and we cannot figure out. They asked him to identify who he was. He sent his a copy of his voter registration and
What?
all. Yes, and they will not let him in. And I'm curious. Do you have any insight?
No, I never heard of such. Voter
They will not.
registration?
Yeah, something. His voter registration, his driver's license, and they won't let him in. I can't. We can't figure out what to do. If anybody has any concept or any kind of anything about, I mean, it's ridiculous because look at all the people that get into Facebook
I know.
that aren't supposed to
Anybody, I
be
mean,
there.
I learned something new. If you can fog a mirror, you can get into
What do you
Facebook.
What do you mean if you can fog a mirror? If you can breathe? I had to think about that for a second. Stop! Don't do that to me.
I
No,
just heard it this morning on the
if
BNI
you
show.
can,
I said, "Wow, yeah,
if you
you
can
know,
fog a mirror, you can get into Facebook.
yeah." I
They
mean,
were
come
talking about
on.
this morning on the
No,
show
no,
this morning.
no. It was
Oh,
something else. But
oh.
it's a good thing. You know, it's like if you have a
Well,
pulse,
you can get
then
in.
you can.
Well,
What is
it's
that?
not. I'm here to tell you that first of all, you can't. At least a regular person can't. Maybe if you're not a regular
he
person, you
actually
can.
got a rejection, or
Yes,
he.
they denied his account.
Wow,
They deactivated it before they could even activate it. They deactivated it before they could activate it. And
interesting.
I would love insight because he's just a nice kind of person, and he just wanted to get it on Facebook, and he has never wanted to do
It's
that
probably
before.
because of you.
Thanks. I need that
You know,
this morning.
everybody's complaining that
What?
uh, conservatives are being
Well, it
uh,
denied, rejected.
denied or whatever.
Oh, I don't think.
This is exactly
Okay.
the opposite.
Well, then you can't believe everything
I
you
don't know.
read or hear because he cannot get in. I'm here to tell you that. So if anybody has any help, insight, you can come into the chat. You can call me here, 919-518-9773, or you can come in on Skype at Computers 2K Voice. And the thing is, there's no way to get help. At least with
No, there
some
isn't.
things, you can you can call and get help. Case in point, Amazon. You can call Amazon. You can call somebody at Amazon and get some help about something. I just uploaded my third book to what the KDP, which is the publishing arm of Amazon. And I uploaded my ebook and I uploaded my paperback book according to the standards that they set. My paperback book was denied. So I called them because it's hard to maneuver all the articles and things to try to get the information. So they have a phone. You call them, and in 2 seconds, they call you back. So I couldn't maneuver it. So anyway, I asked them what the problem was. They said something with the spine, and they didn't know what it was, but I should make sure the spine fit a certain dimension. So I went back to my cover designer, and he balked, but he fixed whatever he did with the spine, made it a little bigger, whatever he did, and then sent it back in. Again, it was denied. And again, I couldn't figure out why. What's the problem? It took a week and a half for Amazon to tell me. So the title is In Just One Afternoon. They finally tell me that the F in afternoon was touching the fold. Just the F, slightly, because on my proof copy, it's not touching it at all. So what was touching, I have no idea. So I had to go back again, get my designer to cut off the F, make it smaller, and sent it back in. And finally, now it is live, and it is live on Amazon. So In Just One Afternoon, Listening into the Hearts of Millennials has joined its brother and sister. In Just One Afternoon, Listening into the Hearts of Men, and In Just One Afternoon, Listening into the Hearts of Twins. So it's up there now, and I have a fourth one coming, which is going to be a surprise. I'm going to show you the cover, and I'm really excited about the cover. So I'm going to show it to you a little bit later on for the next book, which is In Just One Afternoon, Listening into the Hearts of People Impacted by Opioid Addiction. So that's coming. But with Amazon, you can call. So I don't know about Facebook, but anyway.
Well, I just went and Googled.
And
Obviously, that's not something that you guys would do. So he said,
he's full of it today.
why? Here's the first thing that came out.
Yeah.
Why was my name rejected during sign up?
And
It says, we ask everyone to use the name they go by in everyday life so that you always know who your
he did
connection
that.
with. We
That's what he
block
did that.
this use of certain names
right.
to help prevent people from creating fake or malicious accounts. We're sorry if your name was blocked by mistake. If you're trying to create a personal account, make sure that your name follows our guidelines. And that's a link to, I'm not going to
Okay.
get into it here.
Right.
Number 2, try signing again at facebook.com. Number 3, if you're still having trouble signing up,
Yeah.
or if you think your name was rejected by mistake, there's a link, let us know. If you're trying to create an account to promote a business, product, organization, or idea, please create a Facebook page. Learn more about Facebook pages.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's
we
right
did-
there.
Okay. Well, from what I know, we followed a lot of those directions and it still wouldn't let him in. But we'll
So
go
did
back
you let
and
them
look
know?
at-
So here, so
Yeah,
there's a
let 'em
link to
know.
let them know.
Okay, I'll have to look and
Yeah.
see. But it was very. It's been.
All I
yeah.
did is I typed in the
What'd you type?
search, I typed denied new account on Facebook.
Okay, I'll try again. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. So, one of the things that has touched me greatly in the last couple of weeks was that I'm Jewish and we had Passover at my former husband's house. He made Passover this year and it was lovely. I just have to say, it was lovely. Several weeks ago, one of my daughters decided she was going out of town for Passover, and she usually hosts it. My house is smaller, and her house is neutral ground for both sides of her family to come. So she was out of town. My other daughter is moving, so she didn't want to mess up her house. My house was small, so I said, well, what about your dad? He's got a lovely condo, and maybe he'd be interested in hosting us all this year. And my daughter kind of frowned and, gave me that kind of experience. And I said, well, I'll ask him. You don't have to ask him. I'll be happy to ask him. And she said, no, I'll ask him, or just, I don't know. Let me see what I'll do. So I said, okay. A couple of days later, he called me excited beyond. how excited he was to host us for Passover. And that meant me, my husband, my daughter, my grandsons, his family, or whoever, and people who had no place to go. And he was so excited. Every other day, he was calling me on the phone, and I was calling him about, should we buy this? Should we buy this? What should we cook? How should we do this? All these things. And I have to tell you something. It was so great. The whole experience was great. We had a lovely, dinner and Seder Friday night. Saturday, we didn't do a Seder. We just had dinner, and we had a new couple who just moved to the area, and it was intimate. But he was lovely, and I really want to pay tribute to him and how he handled things, and it just made everybody feel comfortable. And so part of what I wanted to talk about was this idea about the extended family today. Because who is that in your life? And how have we opened up to that? And how are we kind of like, oh, are you kidding? So it's a big deal. I mean, it's been holidays for a lot of people around. It's Easter, it's been Passover, it's spring. I mean, we're made up of a lot of extended families. And so it's something to pay attention to. So I have this quote I wanted to share, and Amnon's going to put it up. So, your basic extended family today includes your ex-husband or ex-wife, your ex's new mate, your new mate, possibly your new mate's ex, and any new mate that your new mate's ex has acquired. Well, what do you think of that? I mean, isn't that the truth of the matter, though? Wouldn't you say? Because I mean, it is. And then the other thing was, it's his daughter, your daughter, my daughter. These people came in Saturday night. They don't know us at all, and my daughter greeted them. And when she looked at the rest of us to introduce us, she was dumbfounded. She didn't know what to say. It was easy. I'm her mother, and then there's my dad, and then there's my sister from my dad, and there's my stepfather. I mean, it went on and on and on, and you just have to laugh, have a sense of humor, but it's more than that. It's beautiful. I feel really blessed that we could get to the point where we can do this. And I can't tell you that it's always been easy. I can't tell you that it's always been like loving and that we've always had this hug around each other. It hasn't been that way always, but it is the way we live today. And I gave his daughter's name is Hannah, and she's a doll. And I gave her the nickname Hannah Honey. So now every time I walk in, I call her Hannah Honey. And it's kind of like we have this nice little relationship. And I know a lot of us out here, I mean, people have passed away, and loving people take on their children and, are there for them. And so we do have these extended families. Got to have a sense of humor, got to welcome everybody, and just have fun with it. And just, Amnon, do you have that in your house?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the way it is.
It's in every house.
It's
You
in
just have to
every house.
notice it.
And you have to notice it and welcome it and enjoy it. What were you going to say? All right, next one. It's a little bit of the same one. Okay. There's a lot there to enlarge you. That's part of the value of being in an extended family, is that it enlarges you. It makes you bigger. It makes you more. And that's how I feel about it now. I mean, I feel like I'm always a lot, but now I feel my roots have grown, and because of that my roots have grown, and my heart has been more open, and we are closer. There's a comfort in that. There's a feeling of belonging. I feel like I belong. I mean, I have a lovely husband. I have, his whole family. He's one of 9. That's a lot of people to love and to love you back. And but with each one that you gain, with each new member of your family, of another family that you bring into your heart, it does. It makes you this feeling of belonging. And I have to say that's a very important feeling today, because so many people do not feel like they belong. A lot of people are feeling lonely and are feeling alone. And it's really important to feel connected and to feel like you're part of a group, part of a family, part of a club, part of something that helps you feel like you belong and belong more and more and more and more. So, any opportunity you have to reach out and love and touch and be there for people is an opportunity to just make life even more magical than it possibly is already. It's just it's great. So the next one, the pain is necessary. Sometimes pain is the teacher we require, a hidden gift of healing and hope. As I said when I was talking about extended family, it wasn't always pretty and nice. There's been a lot of pain attached to whether it was the divorce, whether it was him moving on, me moving on, him having new children, more children, me having this, him having this, not being as connected to his family as I once was, him not connected to mine, just my children. When you think of my children are 38 and 36-ish, and they don't remember their mother and father being together, that makes me feel sad. That's a painful feeling that I carry with me always. Now, does it weigh me down? Does it keep me back? Does it make me not want to do something? No, it does not. It's there. It's something that I tuck away. It's something that I think about. It's something that I remember, but it also motivates me not to stay in that pain and to feel the feeling that I can now feel where my children can be in the same room with their parents and my grandchildren can be in the same room with their grandparents. And they got several of them. They got grandpas and they got, grandmas. And, we all just kind of come together and it's great. And food and holidays and a little bit of wine and a lot of chicken can do it to you. So, yes, you're going to have pain, but there's something else on the other side. And I think there's a way of going through pain. We can go through pain in a way that we don't have to beat each other up. There's pain that is just a given pain. It is the way it is. It's hard, as much as I wanted, let's say, to go through that divorce, and I did want it, there was pain attached. It didn't come pain-free. But in the same time, we didn't beat each other up. We went through it. We acknowledged our pain. We lived our pain. But we didn't beat each other up and create something other than what was already going to be there in the pain of, a relationship that was ending. And the fact of the matter is, we got a whole new, beautiful relationship that, is it worth the pain? I guess. I guess on some level it would be worth the pain. You got to go through it. And it's kind of like breaking free, right? So you break free from what wasn't working. That can be painful. Could also and here's the flip side. It's painful and exuberating at the same time. So you got to go through both to get to a whole new way of having a relationship. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
No.
All right. So I'm delighted to have any of you call in 919-518-9773. Share your pain, share your exuberance, share your moments over the holidays, share what it was like, share if you were alone, if you were in a group, if you were traveling, if you've had some extraordinary experiences. I would love to hear them. And we would love to talk about them because each of our experiences shine light on another person. And that is really, really, really important. So please feel free to call in and share whatever you like because we are here and I'd love to hear from you. Okay, next one. I love these quotes. Once we realize that imperfect understanding is the human condition, there is no shame in being wrong, only in failing to correct our mistakes. So if you're going to do something, if you're going to grow, if you're going to do something new, you're never going to be always right. You're going to have things that aren't going to be right. And going in relationship, out of relationship, imperfect understanding. That's all it is. Imperfect understanding. And once you have an opportunity to work on it, correct it, that imperfect understanding changes to understanding to allow for another imperfect understanding. It's how it goes. It's from one to the other. And the freedom. Oh my gosh, the freedom. So last week, let me tell you, in the counseling practice that my coaching practice is part of, each semester we have a group of interns from one of the local colleges. Usually we have, when I say a group, this year we have a group. Usually we have one, sometimes we'll have two. This semester we had four, and they all had their jobs to do. And okay, is that for me? Could be. I'll get back to the interns in a minute. Hello.
Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Amnon. It's Chris.
Hey,
How are
Chris.
you?
Hello.
Hey.
Hey. So I have a question.
Okay.
I know you guys are both parents, and this year, my kids are getting older, and it felt like the Easter baskets, the egg hunts, all that stuff, they were too old for. So this was our first year where we created a new tradition, and we decided to go to the beach for the day. And it worked out really well, but I was also sad because we didn't do the Easter baskets, and we didn't do the egg hunt, and we didn't do the little kid stuff. So I guess, my comment is that I think now that I've had some time to reflect on it, it is okay to make new traditions and new rituals as kids get older, but I also wanted to make sure that we still had that continuity, that we did something special to mark the holiday. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a question for you.
Sure.
So would you have liked to have found the eggs? Would you like to have gone on an Easter hunt? Because what my vision then is, here I am, I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm thinking, well, they might be too old for it. But I think that we go through kind of like an ebbing and a flowing. And what would have been wrong if they hit them and you found them?
Oh, that's true. So we would flip it.
You flip it. Flip it. But I'd put, like, instead of, what did you used to put in their eggs?
Well, when they were little, we would put little pieces of candy, and then as they got older, we would put things, like quarters, and maybe we started to put in little jokes.
Oh.
And little word finds, anything that we could, like, smush in eggs. We did, like, one year we did coupons, like,
Oh, that's clever.
this is good for, cash in, and you'll get a break from unloading the dishwasher or something like that. So we would try to switch it up a little bit in terms of the things that we would put in.
Well, I would, then you might want to try the reverse. Look, kids, they want to grow up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of us, we want to play. So you get to a certain
Right.
point where we want to go back to playing again. I mean, kids, sometimes playing is, you see the kids play, right? Sometimes, it's not wasted on the young, but it would be great if we all could play a little more. So, maybe that's how it's supposed to go.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, that would be fun. Sure.
So it's still Easter, isn't it? Isn't today Easter Monday?
Today's Easter Monday, yeah.
Okay. So is it Easter somewhere? Is it like, because just like it's 5 o'clock somewhere,
Like
can
it's
it
always
be
5 o'clock somewhere.
can it be Easter somewhere all the time?
Yeah, it can be.
Well, I think, and if you do it, invite me over. I wouldn't mind finding myself an egg or two.
Oh, that sounds like fun. I got to get my eggs together.
I don't know. That sounded kind of funny, but yes, get your eggs together. and let the kids put things in them, and then let them, do it the reverse. I think that sounds like fun. But it's
I
okay
think
to.
that's a great idea.
But that's a good question, and then I think or a good statement. I think it's great to create new rituals,
Mhm.
just like we did. I mean, this was huge for us.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Huge, 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 and huger. So it's like our whole it's just made the whole family even better.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm so glad.
Yeah, yeah, it was great, and I loved every minute of it. In the beginning, it was a little bit funky when I would say, "Where is your aluminum foil?" And I'm expecting him to go get it, and he's telling me where it
Right.
is.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Where are the forks?
And I got there
Yeah.
early, and he had the chicken ready for me to cook, but he had already cooked a whole bunch of stuff. But I mean, it was great. So yeah, it's just wonderful. But I love what you just said. So if anybody else wants to call in and share traditions, old traditions from the holidays, or anything, that would be cool. So you want to hold
Mhm.
on, or you want to go?
Oh, I can hold on if you want me to.
Can somebody call in if she's holding on?
Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to answer.
Okay, so you can unhook and then you can hook up again.
Okay, sounds
Okay?
good.
All right, thank you, honey. So
No
Chris is our
problem. Let's Skype
co-producer.
soon.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
All right. So here's another one. You ready? Be a force of nature. Take on the chaos. Yes! Also, there will be bad times, and those bad times will come to pass as all things do in life, as all things in life do. You've got to be you've got to be rejected by the world firstly. But to own yourself above all other things is the greatest trophy you can ever attain. So I need to read that again. Be a force of nature. Take on the chaos. Look, there's chaos all over the place. You're going to take it on. You can't hide from it. Also, there will be bad times. We know that. And those bad times will come to pass as all things in life do. They will. They will. There's always a tomorrow. You've got to be rejected by the world firstly. Sometimes you have to feel the rejection of something to break through it, to break free from it, so there's something better on the other end. But to own yourself above all other things is the greatest trophy you can ever attain. So what that means is this is what it means to me. It may not be the only meaning, but this is what it means to me. Is no matter what chaos, yucky stuff you're going through or that's going on around you, to stay grounded and to care and love yourself is the greatest trophy you can do, no matter what. Not to lose sight on your worthiness, not to lose sight on your power, on what you do that's good, on what you used to do that's good. Don't lose sight, because things are going to happen. And every time something happens, those things that happen, they're out of your control. You do the best you can. You approach a situation the best way you can. And after that, it's a crapshoot how it's going to turn out. Your intention is the best it can be. And sometimes you're not in the best of mood. And maybe your intention isn't so great, but maybe that's all part of what's supposed to happen. It's all part of the symphony. It is what it is. But how you come out of it, how quickly, what you learn, what you feel, what you impart on other people, all of those things. How you forgive and forget yourself, for yourself and others. How you make nice is all important, and not to lose sight on the most important thing that you have, and that is yourself. That is really important. So please keep that in mind. Oh, sorry. I was talking about the interns. Oops. Nobody reminded me but me. Go figure. No, I was talking about the interns before Chris called, remember? Yeah. Okay, so I didn't finish. So they did, thank you. At least I feel like, oh, good, thanks. I was talking about the interns before Chris called. So we have these interns from the psychiatry practice that I'm a part of. And they did a presentation. Each semester, they do a presentation of their internship. And one of the things that one of the interns focused in on in his presentation was about trying things and not worrying about making a mistake. Because there were times where this young man who was brilliant and this crew we had this time, they were terrific, and they always are. These kids are fabulous. They're, graduating college. They're just lovely people, and they want to do good work, they want to be creative, they want to give their best, and I love working with them because I love working with them individually to seek out what it is that they are most interested in, and I don't follow any plan. So what one does doesn't mean that's what the other ones do. It's an individual thing. And he wrote about how important it was for him to learn about trying something new and not worrying about how it was going to turn out. And I was so delighted that he reached that little nugget through the internship, and how they all were focusing on their communication skills, because I get them on communication. If you don't call, if you don't write back, if you don't answer, to me, that is so important, is to stay on top of communication. And they set up on their own, they set up a little chat so that, if they had questions about stuff, they would write it in there. And I'm big on that. I'm big on, if you don't know what you're doing, tell me. If you know what you're doing, share. If you're going to be late, tell us. All of those things. Own it. Be upfront with it. It's a lot better than holding it and being afraid of it. And they all acknowledged that. It was so cool. So, I just wanted to share that because it's all about, trying and not giving up hope. So it's good. Okay, next one. Thank you, Amnon. Okay, this one, you are only the problem you will ever have. Okay, you are the only problem you will ever have, and you are the only solution. That is so simple and made so much sense to me. I hope that makes sense to you. So think about it for a second. What does that mean? You are the only problem you will ever have, and you are the only solution. Amnon, I'm putting you on the carpet. What does it mean to you? Can you tell me?
Well,
What do you think?
any problem is because you cannot easily get your way.
Okay.
And you say that's a problem, that you see it as a problem. But if you sit and think about it and try and figure out a way out of it, you
Yeah,
can.
you're the only one.
Yeah.
How you see
Well,
things.
unless somebody comes in and I don't know, does something to that problem, which doesn't happen.
But it's also in how you look at
unfortunately,
it.
a lot of people wait for somebody else to fix the problem for them.
Well, and it's how you look at it. It's
Yeah.
how you take it on. It's how, there can be the same problem out here, and 2, 3, 3,000, 10,000 people are going to look at that problem in differently.
And
And
Chris
how,
is saying something.
oh, she is what she's saying.
She's saying sometimes you have to get out of your own way. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get out of your own way to be able to assess it in a neutral way. So, like, be a fly on your wall, so to speak. But you're the only one that can solve the problem. You are the root of a problem, and you are the root of the solution. And it's not anybody else's responsibility, really, because it's how you flip on the dime and how you're looking at it. And it's really empowering to realize that it all begins and ends with us, and how you pick your head up every day and go forward. How you wake up in the morning is up to you. How you go to bed at night is up to you, no matter what anybody has done. It's how you look at it. It's how you forgive, how you forget, how you go on, the difference that you make. It's all about you, period. All right, next one. Thank you, Amnon. Okay. Who looks outside dreams? Who looks inside awakes? The power is in here. The power is in within you, and you have the power to make the difference. And dreaming is great. We all should dream. But dreaming awake is really powerful. It's one thing to dream and to be in a fog. It's another thing to dream and be alert. Because what do you think happens to your dreams when you're in a fog as opposed to when you're awake? When you're awake, you're clear, you know the steps to take. You can see the dream. And practicality, you can see it. Then you can figure out what to do to acquire it. But when you are in a fog, how can you see it? You can't see the plan. You can't see the pattern. You can't see the steps. But when you're awake, you can see it and you can dream awake. That is a magical, magical place to be. Dreaming awake or being awake and dreaming, however you want to look at it. So, and hope, creativity, never giving up, possibilities, the yearning to keep going on and on is when you are awake dreaming. That is beyond. That's when the excitement, the exuberance, that's where it all lives. So it's really a practice. So how do you get there? How do you acquire that in your life? How do you awake and not be in a dream? And that's a really interesting question. So being mindful of the present moment is very important. Being here and present and clear, no matter and real, and choosing to look around, choosing what's going on in this 1 second, in this one moment, and looking at it from that perspective, as opposed to what happened yesterday and what's going to happen tomorrow. But being awake and doing your work. Being awake is doing your work, is getting past the limiting conversations that you have about yourself, because nothing is limiting. That would be one of those things that we would talk about, getting out of your way. Those things are limiting when you're in your way. The voice is in your head. Whose voice is that anyway, I would say? It ain't always yours. It's the ego, it's somebody else, it's something you remember, it's somebody else's fear. So getting out of your own way and literally moving forward is, and it's not rocket science, and there's no like take this step. It's experiencing it and acknowledging what you're experiencing along the way. So for me to come in here today and acknowledge my experience with my former husband, over the weekend with my husband, that's a big acknowledgement for me. And living in the joy of it, living in the emotion of it, living in the freedom of it, and experiencing my emotion is really important. And sometimes people are afraid to experience their emotion. I think it's more scary not to. When you experience your emotion truly, that is a safe place to be. When you are awake within your emotion, and it takes a step by step. It takes maybe reading a book. It takes listening to shows like this and to other people. It takes communicating with friends. It takes having profound conversations and listening and not being judgmental, devil's advocate, and I don't know what the word is, but when people are purposefully negative just because. And if you have people in your life like that, get away from them. They are that is not a good place to go when you're waking up. When you're awake, you can go back. But when you're waking up, you need all the energy you can get. And when you're awake and you're feeling good about yourself, then welcome in the world. Love everybody that you can love. Forgive people. But as you're going through this, you need a lot of strength. Okay, next one, please. Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once we grow up. So that goes along with some of what Chris was asking earlier about her kids growing up. I, it's important to keep playing because play is creative. Playing is being an artist with life, and it's a we have I don't think we have much choice. I think we have to play. We have to play with how we eat. We have to play with how we drink. We have to play with, the our outer world. Just play. See what you see. Kids they don't have to paint in the lines. They don't have to use colors that there's a pattern to that go together. That is really important. Experiment. Try new things. Like the interns. There's no mistake. There's just a lesson in, I like that. No, I don't like this. I like that. I should like this, but I don't like this. Just try new things and keep it going and talk about it. Share. If you try new things and you want to call me, I would love to hear what you tried, whether it works or it didn't work for now, or whether it worked for now or it didn't work for now. Because at some point, what you try may work and may not continue to work. It's all about trying something new. It's all about doing something new. And I would love to hear your experiments and how you explore in your life, creating opportunities and what have you, and doing things that are different. Don't paint inside the line. Don't use colors that you think always go together. Don't, and with cooking, try different spices, try different herbs, try things that you didn't think could go together, because those are what whet our palate. Those are what gives us a sense of humor that we can giggle at and go, oh, I never thought that would work, but it did. Have fun with your life. And I would love to hear you, share it with me. All right, next one is creativity is not a competition. How can it be? Everybody's creativity is unique to them. You can't. There is no competition there. Isn't that fun? Isn't that a place that you would love to spend time in? How? Because you know what? I just wrote my book on millennials, just made it to Amazon. I'm sure that there are thousands of books out there about millennials. Thousands, trillions, millions. Do you think I care? I don't care at all. Because what I heard is unique to what I heard. What I put down on paper and what other people put down on paper is unique. There can't be any others like that. It's impossible. It was between me and the millennials that I interviewed, and between me and what I thought in the moment. So there's no competition, and I could care less that there are thousands of millennial books out there. What do I care? They're all unique, and there's trillions of people out here who are going to pick up my book, might pick up another book. That's great. I don't care that there's millions of other books out there. It doesn't matter. What I found in millennials, what I expressed about millennials, what I talk about, it's no, in this moment, nobody else is talking about. Do you think anybody else is doing what I'm doing right this second? I don't think so. Do you think anybody's doing exactly what you're doing in this second, and what you're hearing from me, extrapolating what I'm saying is unique to you? It's your creative process and what you get from me in this moment. Nobody else is getting it exactly the same way. Nobody sees the same color the same way. Blue, navy blue. Nobody sees it the same way. It is your creative universe that you're applying to that color that is unique to you. So everything you do is unique to you, period. Next one. This I love. And I looked at this twice, 3 times, I don't know how many times this morning, and I thought, art is a lie that makes us realize the truth. And so for me, I don't know what it means for you, but for me, it kind of like was, art is subjective, and it's mine, and it's not real, and it's experiment, and and what truth is it yet? And is it, if I put these two colors together, you know, I may not like it, or I might like it, and it keeps on going, and it's not real yet until it is. Until it offers something, until it takes on something concrete, which, I often say, and you might have, if you've listened to me before, you've heard me say many times, I didn't start off thinking I was going to be an author and writing books. For me, that wasn't part of my MO. I always looked at myself as somebody who had a really hard time formulating my concepts and my words on paper. I don't spell well, I make up my own words, all of those things that really don't do well in a book. But I can do that when I'm speaking. I mean, I could make up my own words when I'm speaking, and take that word with a tone and a little gesture and a little this, a little that, and make it real. But in a book, it's not the same because I'm not there. I'm not communicating it and explaining it enough. So it was really hard for me to write. And the first book I wrote, was really a struggle. I mean, like The Men, in Just One Afternoon Listening to Thoughts of Men, a real struggle. And then the Twins, when I got to In Just One Afternoon Listening to Thoughts of Twins, that was a struggle. The first one was a struggle just doing it, just giving myself permission to, how am I going to write when I don't write? How am I going to write when I don't spell well? I mean, what is the process? I couldn't even get my thoughts around it. And then the Twins, how am I going to lay it out? It was so frustrating. I didn't want to lay it out like The Men. I didn't know what to do. When I got to the Millennials, which was the third one, it was good practice because I started feeling freer about some of the ways that I was expressing things. I got excited about how things came out of me that I really liked, and I looked and I honor these few phrases and I remember it's like, wow, that was good, and I was so excited that now I feel more like an author. I have more confidence in myself, and it took 3 books, and I had the pleasure a couple of weeks ago of being at a book fair with a woman by the name of Diane Chamberlain. And she is what I would call like a regular writer. Like, she's been writing for like 27 years, 30 years, excuse me. She has 27 books. She's like known. If you don't know her, look her up. And not only is she a great nonfiction writer, but she's a lovely human being. And I had the pleasure of sitting, with her at this thing, and she was talking about her writing, and she's got 27 books. And she said it took her till the 3rd book till she owned her voice. And I was like, oh my God, she's speaking my language, because it took me to my 3rd book till I felt like I had a voice, or that I was expressing my voice, or that I had a handle, a hold on my voice, that I was able to kind of take my hand and reach down inside of me and pull it up and get it out on paper. And so maybe it's the truth. Maybe if you're right, it takes 3 books. But all I know is art is a lie that makes us realize the truth. And it did. It made me realize the truth that my words mattered and I could do it. And so I'm just saying to you, give it a whirl, give something a whirl. And if if you're painting that canvas, trying to write a book, creating poetry, you want to cook, whatever it is you want to do, that's part of nature. It's part of the way things are supposed to be, is that we're supposed to create, and we're supposed to try these things and play, but do them wildly and have fun with it. And don't always paint in the lines, unless, of course, you want to. It's your choice. Okay, next. Thank you. I'm done. Okay, let's see. They always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. I feel that way. It's kind of that paradox that things are going to go on in spite of you. But when you can and you take an action, it's your duty. You can't, or you can just hold back and wait for something to happen. And it could, but sometimes you just have to move things along a little bit. Sometimes you have to give things a teeny tiny little nudge to let it happen. And then sometimes if you got to shove it, maybe you're supposed to shove it. Sometimes maybe you're not. And you're the one that has to make that determination. You're the one that has to choose whether it's a time for shoving, a time for gentle, or a time for nothing. And you get to choose that. And that is how it goes. And sometimes that's in everything we do. It is up to you to make that determination. And sometimes you got to keep going back into something. Sometimes you've got to take a time out and walk away from it. But all of those things you're doing awake. All of those things you're doing as awake as you can be. And as you grow and as you learn, as you take on new things, you become more and more awake. I'm more awake today than I was last week. So everything we do is an action. Just know that. Okay, next one. The purpose of art is washing the dust of daily life off our souls. The purpose of art is washing the dust of daily life off our souls and going and just being new again, being fresh again, playing again, creating again, trying something new again, and allowing our souls to be fresh and new and rejuvenate and keep on going and not giving up. And allowing our souls to be us and to not allow it, not allow it, but to be okay with being all of you, I would say. And I think there's more to that. Oh, I know there's more to that. So I say to you all out there, what's your opinion? And I left this as the last one. The purpose of art is washing the dust off of daily life, off of our souls. What do you think? It's an uncovering. It's an unveiling. It's a cleaning up. It's a bursting out. It's a vibrance and it's all of those things. What do you think it is? And see, when I give my opinion about what these quotes are, that is in this moment. What I thought about earlier was not the same thing as I think about them now. When I put these together yesterday, I had a whole new spiel going on because that's how I was yesterday. But today, I look at them differently. So how do you look at this one? It's a beautiful quote from Pablo Picasso. How do you look at it? 919-518-9773 or Computers 2K Voice. You can join me or you can come in on our chat. You know that, right? And just ask questions, share whatever you want. Let me hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. All right. So now the uncovering of my next book cover for opioid addiction. And Amnan's got it up, right? Okay, there it is. In just one afternoon, listening into the hearts of people impacted by opioid addiction. So I've been interviewing people who have or who are addicted, have been addicted, who are in recovery, family members, a doctor who specializes in pain management, because several of her patients have been addicted. But I love the graphic of a medicine bottle with somebody in it, and then other figures coming out of the bottle, getting away from it. And that's the focus of our book, is that within each of these stories, there's something positive with each person, regardless of whether they are continuously taking a drug, an opioid, or they're not. That everybody has self-worth and everybody matters and everybody's stories matter. And I've been hearing some unbelievable ones. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to walk in the shoes of some of these people that I've been interviewing, but I respect them. I can't even begin to tell you how much respect I have for someone who has struggled to get away from addiction, even someone who's still in it. I mean, when you hear people's stories and where they've come from and what their lives have been like, it's unbelievable. And so I am still looking for a few more people to interview. And my email is Marilyn, Marilyn, at MarilynShannon.com. And I would love to chat with anyone who's a family member, someone in recovery, or someone who is having a problem and not in recovery. And so you can, I'll be happy to keep your names private, anonymous. You don't have to share who you are. But if you have a story, please feel free to reach out to me. If you know somebody with a story, reach out to them and ask them if they would be kind enough to reach out to me. That would be great. I will treat them with love. This is a really important book. And it's important that we share these stories so we understand what goes on with someone and understand the dynamics and how someone becomes addicted. And understand there are, it's interesting. Most of the people that I've interviewed, they'll say, well, yes, they had this feeling of pain, emotional pain, physical pain, whatever it is. But their best friend could have that same feeling and take a pill and not get addicted when somebody else takes the pill and they get addicted. So it is the way it is. So if you know anybody, once again, Marilyn at MarilynShannon.com. Just write to me, and I'll keep your name anonymous. If you know anybody that's addicted or in recovery, having trouble in recovery, a family member, whoever it is, whoever's been touched by opioid addiction, I would love to hear about it. Well, I don't want to hear about it, but you know what I mean. So, you good? Everything else okay? Any final words from you?
No.
No?
Everything's fine.
Okay.
That was a very good show.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all of you here today. I love you dearly. I love coming here. I love being with you. And even though you haven't called me, and I know some of you want to, I feel you. And so it's really important that we're doing this work together. I know it sounds zappy, but I feel you. And I feel some of the things that whether it's me coming here by myself or it's our guests, I feel like it's timely. And so, I'm here for you, with you, and traveling the same path you are, trust me. And sometimes, we all have different experiences to share. And it's through those different experiences that our lives get richer and richer and richer. So with that, I want you to have a fantastic Monday. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Please don't disregard what I said. Please contact me anytime at Marilyn at MarilynShannon.com. I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you soon. Bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.